numbers. My goodness. Let's see what we do here. So we have x over 8 plus the square root of 3 over 18 times x minus 18. Okay.
Is that 3 over 8? Oh, because you simplified the 2 and the 8. Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. I'd rather stop and go back. Maybe you see something I don't. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so I have to distribute now. So x over 8 plus the square root of 3 over 18x.
Right. Hold on. Where'd the negative 1 go?
So negative 1 times negative x. And negative,
okay. And then
negative 1 times 18. Minus, sure, my pleasure. The square root of 3 over 18 times 18 will be the square root of 3 equals 0. Now I will have to factor because I can combine like terms. So I have x 1 over 8 plus the square root of 3 over 18. Move this, the square root of 3. My goodness. Wow. Okay. Can we use any approximations? I'm assuming not. If they don't say use such and such, then no approximations are allowed.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, okay.
Oh, it does. It does say round your answers to 2 decimal places.
Okay. Gee whiz. The square root of 3 divided by, parentheses, 1 divided by 8 plus the square root of 3 again, outside, divide by 18, close. I got x is approximately 7.83. And this is in meters. Okay, so we haven't finished. So what was the question again? Find
the maximum and the minimum.
Okay, for the total area. Okay, so we got this. Okay, so now I have x 0, 7.83, TA prime, and TA. Okay. My goodness, how do I study the sign of this? Let's see. Okay, for 0, I have x over 8 minus the square root of 3. And this is 0. Okay, so 0 here, 0 here. So it's negative. Okay, the maximum is 18. Okay, and this is positive. Okay, so remember x was the perimeter of the square. Y is the circumference no, it's not a circle. Sorry, the perimeter of the triangle. Okay, so let's see what happens. I have to for some reason, for a second, I thought that the other one was a circle, but it's not a circle. It's a okay. Now, I have to determine the total area when x is 0. If x is 0, then we use the entire 18 for the equilateral triangle when x is 0. Then I have to plug it in, so I know that this will be the minimum. So when I plug in 0, and then I plug in this, and I plug in 18. Now, what happens when x is 18? Well, when x is 18, it means there is no triangle. We are using the entire 18 meters to bend it into a rectangle, into a square. Again, when x is 0, we have no square, but we only have the equilateral triangle. When x is 18, we don't have the equilateral triangle, we only have the square. But I don't know, I have to plug them in. In what? In the this. So I'm going to put the function in the graphing calculator as I see it. Careful how we enter it. And then we'll draw a conclusion. So in y equals, clear everything. And we have x squared divided by 16 plus parentheses. How do I want to write this? Okay, yeah. So 18 minus x close square times the square root of 3. And then completely outside, careful, divide by 36. So I'm checking is make sure that I have x squared by 16. Yes, plus 18 minus.
Is that a divide by 36 or is that a plus?
Oh, of course. I was just checking that. Thank you for catching that. No, I meant division, of course. Where's my division symbol? Okay. Okay, one more time. So 18 minus x, everything squared. I multiply by the square root of 3, but I divide by 36. Now, I have 3 numbers to plug in. 0, okay, fine. So I get 15.59. 15.59. And the area is in meters squared. Then I have to plug in 7.83, I believe. Yes, that's what we got. 8.81. And then I also have to plug in 18. No. 18. Okay, and I got 20.25. Yes. Okay. So, obviously, from what we see, this is the absolute minimum, meaning 7.83 meters out of 18 will be bent into the square, and the rest, y will be 18 minus 7.83. How much is that? So a 7, a 1, and 7 from, so I'm getting 10 meters. So let me make sure that's correct. That's correct. So the absolute minimum, x is 7.83 and y is 10.17. The absolute maximum is this. And this is the absolute min. So what does this mean? It means that x is 18 for the absolute maximum. There is no equilateral triangle. We bend the whole 18 into the square. So absolute maximum when x is 18, absolute minimum when x is 7.83. Very good question. Any questions on this? Anything, please. Aaron, were the numbers okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just when I put it into WebAssign, I just put the 7.83 in the wrong square.
Okay. But we have to study the sign. If we don't study the sign and we don't, because this is basically a studying a function on a closed interval, 0, 18. So we have to study this, what happens at the endpoints and any critical number that we may find. Great job. Next question, anything else? Anyone, please? Do you need help with anything else? So this was basically the max min on a closed interval. This is it. We were given a closed interval, in this case 0 to 18. What would you like to continue from this list? Or anything else? Do you need help with anything else? Yes?
I guess nobody else has one. I guess I got stuck on 13 of WebAssign.
Yes.
Same one. I think you might have to look it up. I don't know to explain it that well.
So this is still from 4.7?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's find it. You said 4.7. So I'm going to open the generic one because I can't show anybody's grades. So, and then you will tell me what I need to correct to work on yours, okay? And you said number 13. Good?
Yep.
So do you have 8 feet, yada, 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 4 feet, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, very good. So let's work on this. So let me copy the graph, the figure. So this is a wall. And then I see, I guess, a fence. And then we have a ladder. Okay. And we have here 8 feet. And we have here 4. Okay. So a fence 8 feet tall runs parallel to a tall building at a distance of 4 feet. We see that. So everything is in feet. Good. What is the length in feet of the shortest? So how do we want to call this? I'm going to call it W. So we want to minimize W. Shortest ladder that will reach from the ground over the fence to the wall of the building. Round your answer to 2 decimal places. Okay. Good. So we are trying to determine the minimum length of this ladder. Okay. Do we have, let me just look one more time, 1 second. So we don't have anything else. Okay. Good. So first of all, we need to look at and name a few things in here. I don't know. So I'm going to call this X. I'm going to call this Y. I don't know if I need to call this something and this something. I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not. So I'm going to say this is A. I'm going to say that this is B. And I'm going to write that W equals A plus B. We'll see. I don't know yet. So at this point, I realized that these are 2 similar triangles. So the tiny one and the bigger one. So this is the one inside, and this is the other one. Why are they similar? It's because they have a common angle, and they also have two angles that are 90-degree angles. So therefore, these two must be equal, we say congruent. So the two triangles, the small one and the big one, are similar, and I can write proportions. Why they're similar? Because I was able to show two pairs of congruent angles. Now, when I write proportions, I cannot just put the numbers in there. No, I have to be very careful. I have to start with, let's say, we start with this angle. The opposite side in the small triangle is 8. For the same angle, the opposite side in the big triangle is y. I move on to this angle. The opposite in the small triangle is x. And the opposite in the big triangle is 4 plus x. Finally, I go back. Notice that all the angles, all the sides from the top come from the same triangle. All sides in the denominator come from the same triangle. So now this angle, the opposite is b. And in the big triangle, the opposite is w. Okay. I'm thinking what to do next, because in order to minimize w, I have to have a function of w. And let's see how I get that function of w with only one variable. What I see here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I can't do that. So I'm going to use this proportion first and cross multiply. So xw equals 4 plus x times b. Okay. Okay. I know from here that b is w minus a, but I didn't accomplish anything because I still have to get rid of a. Okay, let's see. Now, if I use this proportion, then I will have y in the equation, and I don't want that. I may have to do it. I have a lot of variables here, a lot. Okay, so xy equals 8, 4 plus x. H-W equals by. W equals a plus b. Okay, so let's see how we continue. Okay, so I will replace a first. Okay, so also from here a equals w minus b. So w equals a plus b. B will be xw over 4 plus x. Also from here, 8w over y. I see why you got stuck on this problem. Very legitimate. Stuck. Very legitimate. Okay. Okay. Now from the small triangle, I also can write x squared plus 64 equals b squared. From the big triangle, I have to write 4 plus x squared plus y squared equals w squared. I have no choice. I need more equations. What I have is not enough. Okay, so this is w squared. Okay. So I had to apply Pythagorean theorem in the small and the big triangle. Okay, let's see what we have now. I'm going to write the equations again to see them here. So x squared plus 64 equals b squared. 4 plus x, everything squared, plus y squared equals w squared. Xw equals 4 plus x times b. (8w) equals by, and w equals a plus b. I should be able to accomplish something with all this. Okay, let's see how we do this. I like this and I like this, but I need to get rid of y. Okay, fine. If I get rid of y, then I have 8w over b. Okay. But I also want to get rid of w, I'm sorry, of b. And from here, I will get that b equals the square root of x squared plus 64. Awful, but I have no choice. That's how it's going to look. So 4 plus x, everything squared, plus 64 w squared over b squared. Oh, I didn't even need to take the square because I have to square it anyway. Okay, that's awesome. Over x squared plus 64 equals w squared. One more time. So I have this, and I have y squared. Y is 8w over b. When I square this, I get 64w squared over b squared. But b squared equals x squared plus 64. Awesome. It's not done because I have y squared and I have w squared in two different sides. So now I have to multiply both sides. So the whole thing is done. I only need this equation, nothing else. Okay. So we have 4 plus x. Let me see how I'm with, yeah, let me stop